Hey ladies, my toxic masculinity is the best you can get. Alright, so I just watched the Gillette commercial, and the commercial itself wasn't that offensive, but it's what they were saying, you know, the subtext, you had to read into it, when it got really, really silly. Offensively silly, I mean stupidly silly. I'm not minimizing how brain dead this stupid commercial was. And it was stupid. You know, the whole, I never really did a video on the whole hashtag Me Too thing and whatever it was, no more, or never again, or whatever the heck they were saying, because it was so ridiculous and so stupid. But this Gillette ad kind of, I mean, I know why people are angry about it, but it actually just, because I guess I've accepted how morally bankrupt and intellectually defunct this society is, nothing surprises me anymore. But I don't know that I really have a message for Gillette so much. They're kind of lost to us. Let's see if we can move back away from this fire.
No, it's okay. We're good.
She doesn't. She's covering her face with her shirt. Come on, come on, come on. Move away.
I don't think it's gonna help.
All right, they're lost. I mean, they're gone. Gillette's mind-blowingly, stupidly gone. You can't salvage someone that stupid. If you haven't seen the commercial, and you probably have, it's about a minute 50, and it goes on and on about how we as men have to do better and train our sons to be better men than we were. And in the background, it's talking about bullying and all the worst stereotypes of what they call toxic masculinity. If you know what toxic masculinity is, look it up. It's a pretty ridiculous, stupid commercial, but it really shows where I'm getting off track here. But what I wanted to really talk to was the ladies. Hello, ladies. Which is a little ridiculous because the last time I checked, our viewership is like 99.2% men. But that being said, we'll talk to the ladies. Vanessa and
Biddy.
Biddy. Hey, Biddy. Sorry, Biddy. And there's a few more too, but and actually we're not talking to Vanessa or Biddy at all because they're not these women. But men, you know that old saying, boys will be boys. Well, it's true. Boys will be boys, and men will be men. And if you don't want men to be men, then you have to stay away from men. You know, and that's fine. If you want to stay away from men, feel free. The vast majority of you aren't not Biddy and Vanessa, you don't fall in this category. The vast majority of you women out there aren't worth the hassle. You're not worth the trouble. This video shows some girl walking down the street in tiny shorts and a tight shirt, and some man yelling at his buddy for being attracted to her and following her to talk to her. Wanting to talk to a pretty girl is now toxic. Mind-blowing. But ladies, if you want to walk down the street dressed like a whore, yeah, and I hate using that word, because most whores aren't really bad people. The ones I've met, at least. But if you want to walk down the street dressed for maximum effect, expect to have it a maximum effect. I'm sorry. We're hardwired. We can't... We're going to be attracted to you. We can't help ourselves. And we are doers. We are risk takers. We are initiators. You wouldn't like us if we weren't. So if you walk down the road signaling to a man that you're sexually available, don't be shocked when he takes you up on it. I'm sorry. I know this whole, slut shaming. Slut shaming is real. All right? Yeah. You should be ashamed if you're a slut. Being a slut is shameful. Yes, if you're a slut, I'm shaming you. This is slut shaming. I don't have any problem with that. If you accuse me of slut shaming, guilty as charged. Don't be a slut, and I won't shame you. Or actually, don't be ashamed, because why should my opinion matter? Why the hell would you care what I think? Oh, he's slut shaming me. So what? Who am I? I'm nobody. And I got zero influence over your life. Slut shaming. You're shameful. Okay, I'm sorry. Back on track. All this stuff about toxic masculinity, this is what makes men men. This is what makes us who we are. You cannot take it out of our characters. We are not malleable. This whole humanism bullshit, excuse me, about, you know, human nature being infinitely malleable, and if we just put people in the right environment and take care of their needs, they'll make good decisions. It's bullshit. It's garbage. You can't change men. You can't change women. You can't. But you really can't change men. And if you try to force us to change, and if you try to squeeze us into your little box, we're like those little stress dolls. You know, you can squeeze them and their little head shoots up and their eyes bulge out. That's us. You can squeeze us, but we won't change. We'll just bulge out in directions. And it will not be good directions. Men can do one of two things. We can, well, I'm sorry. There's four things, actually, but they're connected. There's two on one side and two on the other. We can build and protect, or we can kill and destroy. And that's all we can do. We're either building and protecting, or we're killing and destroying. And there's no in between. You know, these little mamby-pamby, noodle-armed soy boys, David Hogg. Do you see that picture? I've talked about it before. The kid's elbow is the biggest part of his arm. Every single other part of his arm is smaller than his elbow. Don't tell me they're not doing something to the testosterone. Anyway, it will come out somewhere else. In school shootings, you take boys and you put them in a female-dominated environment, and all the stuff they do to them and the drugs, and try to force them to be something other than what they are, and suddenly they're shooting up schools. Or suddenly they decide they're girls, and they're having radical surgeries and, you know, taking major drugs. You can't change men. You can't change women either, by the way. And the more they try to change men, and the more they tell women they don't want men, the unhappier women become, and the more whacked out men are becoming. Our men are crazy. They're stupid. The vast majority of them are weak. You know what? I don't want to start beating down on men, because that's not what I'm about. I'm about encouraging men, and you know, the whole thing about being a revolting man is revolting against the society that tries to take men and turn us into vassals and basically turn us into unattractive women, you know? And so I don't want to be that guy, you know, beating men down again. You're weak, ah! It's not that they're weak. I mean, there are weak men, obviously, but I'm not going to be the guy out there telling you someone's weak. I want to be the guy telling you this is what you could be. And this Gillette vision of what men are, nice and polite and kind and gentle and good with children. I mean, I'm good with children, I think. That's not a bad thing. I'm good with children with the right way, though. They're not good with the children that creepy way where, well, honey, tell me about your feelings. But you know what I'm talking about. They want that weak metrosexual soy boy, noodle-armed, low-T, soy boy was supposed to be on the end of that, I'm sorry. Men that they can control, and who will go to work and produce economic output for these people to then, whatever it is when the government takes your money and tells you that it's tax. Thank you. Economic output for them to tax and straight up take. There's another word I'm looking for. Requisition. That's not the right one. Anyway, they don't want strong men who protect their families, men who build, because those are men who are hard to control because they have something to fight for and something to lose, and a goal and a vision. They don't want men like that. They want robot men who do what they're told and build things and fight wars. But you don't get those things. You can't have weak-willed men who build and protect. Weak-willed men kill and destroy. Hitler, whacked out on drugs. Whacked out on drugs. The best medical care they could provide in the 1940s and 30s. Whacked out on drugs. He was weak-willed. Or weak. Maybe he wasn't weak-willed, but he was weak. And I've lost my train of thought, and I'm sorry. I know this is supposed to be about the Gillette commercial, and now I'm going into my whole life philosophy, and poor Mariah's arms are getting tired. But look, I'm supposed to be talking to the women. Women, many of you think that you want to be permanently pair bonded for life. Now you will, you know, Pavlov would ring his bells and his dogs would salivate. Women these days, you know, you say man, and they say don't need one. But many of you have a dream of being permanently pair bonded with a man at some point. Most of you, I would say, in your little hearts and in your little beds at night, in your little diaries, when you're playing with your doll houses and your teddies, you dream about being permanently pair bonded with a man. Now, you think this man is, you know, this metrosexual idea of kind and sweet, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make you happy, which is if a man ever says that to you, ladies, run from that guy. But you want to be pair bonded with a man. Look, the world tells you that what you have to offer a man is love and sex. And those are things you can give a man. But he can get sex a lot easier and a lot cheaper than you. And love is not something he values as much as you do. And so if all you're offering him is love and sex and a whole host of issues and problems and drama and negatives, men aren't going to want you. So someone recently had a video, or there was something about men want debt-free virgins without tattoos. You know, it's true. You want us to change, but the truth of the matter is, you're the ones who need changing. You know, you're not attractive women anymore, and you don't give men what they want. I won't give all the details here, but I have had conversations in the past with women who aren't my current wife about, you know, I maybe would have accused of not giving as much as they give. You know, oh, I cook, I clean, I make this home. You know what? That's really nice, and I enjoy having those things, but it's not something I value so much that I'm willing to give up things I really value for. You know, you're asking me to give up things I really, really value, my self-respect, my vision of myself, for things that are nice, but aren't that vital to me. If you look how most men live without women, we live like animals. You know, the place is filthy. I ate raw hot dogs all the time. And if I didn't eat out, this was between my marriages, if I didn't eat out, I ate raw hot dogs or whatever somehow magically appeared in the refrigerator. You know, maybe my brother had brought pizza or something. But that's the life I would live if I had to sacrifice other things. I wouldn't go out of the way to provide those things for myself. They're not so valuable to me that I would give up other things. And you can take that, ladies, into a lot of other areas of your life. Yeah, we like having sex. Do we like it so much that we're willing to crawl on our bellies and put up with your horse shit? When we're young men are. After about 35, though, men start going, what? Why am I doing this? I've got some self-respect. And I have other options. So maybe you don't like us. And this was all supposed to, here I go, I'm supposed to tie this into what I said all the way at the beginning, and I've lost most of you already. We're the best you can get. All right? We're pretty cool. We're self-sacrificial. We're very brave. We're strong. We take big risks. We build big things. You know, we dig the Panama Canal. We build Hoover Dam. We go to the moon. We defeat Nazism. We defeat Imperial Japan at the same time. I mean, we're men, and God made us with a purpose and a personality and character traits that are reflective of His. And really, if you're still with me, we'll go here. This is why the left is so adamant on destroying manhood and masculinity, because manhood and masculinity reflect God's primary character traits. And liberals and atheists and humanists and all these people, they hate God. And men reflect God. They reflect His character traits. God is primarily a builder and a creator and a protector, and He's an initiator, you know, and He's everything we connect with masculinity. And liberals and atheists and secularists hate that. And they hate seeing it reflected in men. And men, by the way, that's one of our primary purposes in life, is to reflect God's nature and character to others. So they can say, hey, well, it gets complicated, but that's our job, is to reflect that. And society and the world hates it, and they want to destroy it. And that's a really cool thing. This video has gone on too long. It is really cool as men that that God chose us as a reflection of His personality. Now, there's a corollary with women to that's also extremely cool. We won't go into that right now. But but it's not that God doesn't love women; it only loves men. But there's a flip side. But there we go. I got all sorts of turned around. This Gillette ad, in and of it, is indicative of a secularist society that wants to destroy men and masculinity and manhood, because we protect women, we protect the family, and we resist tyranny, and we reflect God's character. And the left and the world and the secularists, they hate those things. They despise them. They want free access to our women and children. And if that makes me sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, I don't care. I believe it with all my heart. They want free reign to terrorize and not terrorize. What's the not abuse, victimize our women and children. They want that. They want to destroy them and torture them and make them miserable. You know, you just look at the Lolita Express and all the other craziness that goes on with these whacked out leftists and secularists and socialists and communists and all these people all these years. What do? They prey on people, and they can't prey on people when there's strong men standing there, men with guns. So the reason why they don't like the guns, they're coming for their guns, so that your guns, so they can get you easier, so they can get those people standing behind you easier. And this Gillette ad is one more sign of that. If you're still with me, you can tell that I don't use many Gillette products. I hope you don't either. We will go out of our way to make sure we don't buy any more. Just for a whole host of reasons, one of which is we're trying to clock out of all economic activity to the extent that we can, and that's, you know, one more thing we can focus on. And then the other is, just what a stupid company. What a stupid ad. What a stupid thing to say and do. Right? You sell shaving products. Who buys shaving products? Men. Manly men. Manly men, manly men. All right? Who doesn't buy shaving products? Women and low-T soy boys who can't grow facial hair. All right? So I don't know what they were thinking. You know, they pretty much came out to their core demographic and said, "We hate you, you suck. Please be better. Oh yeah, buy our product." I have no idea what the purpose of this ad was. Literally zero idea. They weren't hawking a product. They certainly weren't pandering to their customer base. I have zero idea what they were trying to accomplish with this ad. Ridiculous company. If they're publicly traded, I advise you to get out of their stock, because if they're this stupid, God only knows what they're going to do next. It's just ridiculously stupid. So there you go. The Gillette ad was silly, but what it represents, what it exposes and is indicative of course, is that there is an evil in this world, and it wants men gone, strong men gone, so that it can victimize women and children, for a whole host of reasons. But this is one of the core foundational truths you should deal with. If you're a man, you have a target on your back, because you are a builder and a protector, and right now, killers and destroyers are in charge of our world. Men, we appreciate you. Thank you.